welcome to God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson. Reach him at GodsFiveMinutes@gmail.com. Now, here's Ed Wilson with God's 5 Minutes.
Hello, friends. Abraham's final moments are recorded in Genesis 25:8. Then Abraham gave up the ghost and died in a good old age, an old man and full of years, and was gathered to his people. Full of years, maybe better be translated satisfied with years, a phrase which seems to more nearly suit the meaning of this expression here and in the few places it's elsewhere in the Holy Writ. The idea is of a man who has tasted, as a diner at a table, the essence of what life has to offer: youth, vigor, joy, hope, as well as grief, disappointment, the need for patience, the slow turning of the wheel of life. And then, having experienced it all with the guiding presence and loving, correcting hand of the Lord, the diner is satisfied with this life, ready calmly to lay down his napkin, leave that table, proceed to another world. He was gathered to his people is not the same as he died. His own people were buried in Mesopotamia, and his grave was far from theirs. What is the meaning of the expression, and who were the people to whom he was gathered? In death, the dust returns to the earth as it was. What was it that was gathered to his people? Dimly, but unmistakably, here is expressed at least a premonition after the thought of an immortal self in Abraham that was not there in what his sons Isaac and Ishmael laid in the cave at Machpelah, but was somewhere else and was forever. That is the thing hinted at here, the continuance of the personal being after death. Remember, Abraham's whole life was shaped by that commandment: get thee out from thy father's house, and from thy kindred, and from thy country. He never dwelt with his kindred. All his days he was a pilgrim and a stranger in a strange land. And though he was living in the midst of a civilization which possessed great cities whose wall reached to heaven, he pitched his tent beneath a terebinth tree at Mamre and would have nothing to do with the order of things around him. But because he looked for a heavenly city, he remained a waif, an outcast in the midst of Canaan all his life. And now he has gone to it. He is gathered to his people. The life of isolation is over. The true social life has begun. He is no longer separated from those around him or flung amongst those who are not congenial to him. He is gathered to his people. He dwells with his own tribe. He is at home. He is in the city. In the same way, friends, life for every Christian must be in some ways lonely. We no more fit into the edifices and ambitions of the world than did our spiritual forebear of so long ago. We are here like travelers, plodding lonely through the night and the storm, but soon to pass through the doorway into the light and hall full of friends. If we cultivate that sense of separation from these carnal things, of having our true affinities in the unseen, if we dwell here as strangers because our citizenship is in heaven, then death will not drag us away from our associates, nor hunt us into a lonely land. Instead, we go where many a broken tie shall be rewoven, and the solitary wanderer meet again the dear ones whom he had loved long since and lost a while. He was gathered to his people, and you and I will be gathered likewise. Let's follow with our thoughts and in our lives to have gone into the light, and cultivate in heart and character those graces and excellences which are congruous with the inheritance of the saints in light. Above all, let us give our hearts to Christ by simple faith in him, to be shaped and sanctified in him. Then our country will be where he is, and our people will be the people in whom his love abides, and the tribe to which we belong will be the tribe of which he is chieftain. So when our turn comes, we may rise thankfully from the table in the wilderness, which he has spread for us, having dined on as much of our life on earth as we desired, and quietly follow the dark-robed messenger whom his love sends to bring us to the happy multitudes that throng the streets of the city. There we shall find our true home, our King, our kindred. So shall we ever be with the Lord. Have you talked to him today?
You have been listening to God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson. Reach him by email at GodsFiveMinutes@gmail.com. Tune in next time to hear more encouraging thoughts from God's Word on God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson.